We are from Audley Primary School, which is based in Birmingham. We are a large school because we're a four-form entry with a nursery. So we've got just under 900 children, which is absolutely joyful. It's always full of happy learning and happy children. And we are a very diverse community. We would be described as being in an area of deprivation, but with that brings it a wonderful mix of joys and challenges, and particularly we have children from all over the world, so we have a very wide mix of languages within our school, which again brings a lovely layer of added culture for our community.
So we've got a very diverse cohort of children within school, and very diverse families. And pupils are eligible for lots of pupils are eligible for pupil premium funding, and we're deeply committed to addressing the inequalities that can affect disadvantaged children. We introduced Peace Circles as part of our strategy, really, to support emotional wellbeing in school and to enhance our PSHE offer. Also, we were introducing a relational and restorative practice approach to behaviour in school. So we thought Peace Circles ran alongside that nicely. It's just a way of building stronger relationships and being able to repair harm and to introduce our peace, our PSHE offer, really.
Lovely, great. And how did you come across them? How did it come into the school?
Our trust
Yes.
sort of signposted us towards peace, towards peacemakers, and we were aware as well that our current PSHE offer was very classroom based, and wasn't really structured in a sort of circle time peace circle way. We really wanted to come back to that, to having a children in a circle at a regular time every week.
Lovely, thank you.
Peace circles happen it's usually every Friday afternoon for most classes. It's a good time to check in with children and to check out the week, really. We have we on a Friday afternoon, every single class in school will sit down, get their classroom ready, and get themselves into a peace circle and begin their peacemakers lesson, which ties in with their PSHE for that week as well.
And we believe doing it on a Friday afternoon is a real strength, because when we as senior leaders walk around school and every class is doing it, there's a real sense of, I don't mean this to sound sweet, there's a real sense of peace and calm, and you can tell the children are very grounded during that session, and we almost feel we add that level of stability and strength for them for the remainder of the day, and then to go home. We were struck how calming it is and how emotionally healing it is for the children, for them to then go, as I say, go home for their weekends. They're really beneficial.
Friday afternoons are often a trigger for a lot of children because they're going home for the weekend and they won't have that structure of school. And we found as soon as Peace Circles were introduced in school, we found Friday afternoons to be rather delightful.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they really are. Really nice.
And do you use the Learning for Peace toolkit to help structure the circles?
Yes, we do. Yeah. The Learning for Peace lessons takes part within the classroom. There's a talking piece that children use, and it's structured in a piece in the way that the Peacemakers toolkit states.
I think it's twofold, isn't it? There's impact on the children, but we'd also say that there'd be impact on the adults as well, which is very, very important to acknowledge. From a leadership point of view, obviously, we made a decision that although Baz is the overall lead for our school, being a senior leader, we identified 2 staff members. So I would say it's had a positive impact on them because it's given them a leadership opportunity within our school. And probably staff who wouldn't necessarily put themselves forward either, and they have really embraced it, worked very hard with Baz, and have now taken it on and deal with a key stage each. Well, if you can imagine, that's a lot of staff and a lot of children in our school, and they've really developed themselves, and they are now at the point where they are leading the staff meeting rather than us as senior leaders. So that's been impactful. And when they led training, I would say about 2 weeks ago, it was wonderful to sit back and watch all the staff engaging, using the correct language and engaging in their own peace circle as part of the demonstration. So it's certainly impacted on staff as well, and that's important. As we talk about the children.
But children, they like the routine. They like the fact that it's at a certain time each week. It doesn't always have to be at a certain time each week, but it usually is. There's greater emotional literacy for sure.
Yes.
Lots and lots of oracy going on, improved behaviour, we think, and certainly stronger relationships between staff and pupils, and relationships between children are really important, and increased pupil voice as well. But children often feel, I think they feel more able to speak out.
Yes. It's almost like it's given them a language to enable them to sometimes not all children can find the words or the right words to communicate, but because they are structured, it's given them, as you say, their own form of toolkit or a language that the children can use to communicate, and it's definitely impactful.
One of our teachers put it in words that they said it's a safe space for them to speak their mind when often they don't feel safe enough to speak out.
Great. And do you think they enjoy the session?
Oh, they love it.
Oh, yes.
Yes, they do. Yes, yeah. Very much so.
They really do. You can tell that level of enthusiasm the minute they were asked to set up the room. You can feel that buzz. Very, very much so.
And I have to say, with our staff meetings, we've had 3 staff meetings now where we've been in a circle. And at first, I think staff found it quite intimidating. But I think now, they feel used to it, and they also feel able to that they are given a chance to speak out loud and to share things together and listen to each other.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
If I speak about, we had an incident take place outside of the school gates. It wasn't anything to do with school, I will stress that. However, it was a very unpleasant incident which involved the police, and a number of our children and parents witnessed some very violent behaviour, which, as I say, resulted in police intervention and arrests and some injured people. So our children were very, very frightened by this. So this happened on a Thursday evening, and a number of staff came in the next day expressing that they felt a lot of children had seen, because social media, we were getting sent all sorts of things. So we did know a group of our children undoubtedly witnessed this this criminal behaviour. So we set about as a leadership team to think about how we could best address this. And Baz suggested that a peace circle would be a good way to help the children maybe make sense of the situation at an appropriate level, because clearly we weren't going to give them all the level of detail, but an appropriate level, and find a way to try and heal the children that were feeling upset by the situation, and maybe give them again a tools to deal and feel safe. So we created, as a leadership team, a script that was shared with all staff. And in classes that we knew children were affected, a senior leader went in with that class teacher to offer support as well. So we had, as our structured our script was very much structured about acknowledging the situation and that something wrong had happened, and that we were working with the police. Then we went on to look at how we keep ourselves safe within the school. So that became a very, very wide discussion, and then we developed that into, now how can we keep ourselves safe outside the school gates? And then it ended obviously with a summing it all up, and it was a really positive experience for the children, because it gave them the opportunity to discuss it in a safe manner, but also for us to control it, because social media gets out of control and out of proportion, and we were able to share in a very factual way what had happened, whilst giving children tools to deal with it. And as a result of that, we made sure our pastoral team were available all day to support children who perhaps needed additional support, and there were around about 30 children, weren't there? And then some parents as well. So it was, and we didn't do that in the evening. We as soon as the children came in, we started our school day with that, to try and put a sense of perspective on what had happened.
It was a great way of trying to sort of audit the situation, find out what's said, and sort of tell children what the truth was. As well as like Joe said, as well as soothing the children, and reinforcing to them that school is a safe place.
Because that was our biggest aim, to make sure that the children felt safe within our building and in our playground, because this incident had happened so close, not on the school grounds, as I stress, but it's very unsettling, isn't it? It's very unsettling. And I think, again, I would say in that, because staff were in the room, possibly for any staff member, it was also maybe grounding and settling as well.
Yeah. And I suppose it gave them an opportunity to process what had happened, rather than pretend nothing was wrong, which can be difficult.
Yeah, for them, it was a part of their school day that had gone. They witnessed something quite traumatic. So yes, it's a chance for them to process that.
Great.
We have lots of anecdotes about things that come out in peace circles. I've witnessed a few of our children who are in classrooms where their children don't get on, and it's sometimes peace circles can be these lovely, serene experiences, but sometimes we have peace circles. The one I witnessed in year 5 was full of laughter and lots and lots of fun. So nice to see children who don't normally get on with each other. That was nice. We've had one year 2 teacher said that 2 pupils who don't normally get on, have a sort of ongoing conflict, and traditional behaviour strategies weren't working with them. But after a few sessions in a peace circle, they could discuss with each other, and they could empathise with each other, if you like, and they feel more confident about speaking in the right way about their troubles, and they seem to be getting on now, which is nice. That's been really nice for the class teacher to see, to go through the year with them, always constantly at loggerheads, and then to happen suddenly towards the end of the year, after a few peace circles, really sort of starting to communicate in the right way.
It's about very carefully selecting your class teachers that you're going to identify to be the lead, and because it gives them an opportunity to lead, but also develop their own skills. But it's very important that we believe that it's a class teacher, not a senior leader, that does this. And so I think it's thinking and being prepared in these times where budgets are tight, being prepared to dedicate some time to bring these teachers out of class to work with your lead. So in our school, they work with BAS, and spending time analysing the planning and where can we feed in peace circles. And so you've got to be prepared to commit time to it, to deliver it successfully, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. It's very daunting for a class teacher to start leading peace circles if they've not experienced one before. It's very hard. A lot of teachers worry about children getting the classroom ready and preparing the classroom for a peace circle. They worry about that, and it's quite intimidating sometimes to sit in a circle for the first time, where you're all on one level and you can all see and hear each other. Yes, so it's important that we started small, so that teachers could practice and refine their practice before it sort of rolled out to the rest of the staff.
Yes.
So those are two teachers who we did the training. They had quite a few weeks to get things ready and prepare themselves and feel comfortable delivering a peace circle before delivering a peace circle to adults.
And I think as leaders, you've got to look at your CPD calendar and pop in numerous sessions where you can do a drip approach. So as Baz has said, we've already had 3 staff meetings led by Baz and these 2 staff members, but you've got to allocate that time in advance. A one-off session won't do it all.
Yeah, you have to ensure that there's consistency as well. So ensure that when it is rolled out to all of staff, that they're all doing the right thing and they're all doing the same thing. That's really important, so that all children get the best offer.
Yes.
And of course, be patient as well, because it doesn't make impact straight away. The impact sort of grows the more you do it, and over time, sort of trust builds, and children feel more able to communicate the more it goes on, the more times they do it.
And making sure as a leader that whenever you select to do it, like we do on a Friday afternoon, make sure that you go and you walk your school, because that's where we've learned how successful it has been, and it gives you great joy to know that the children are having this wonderful experience before they go home. So it's commitment on lots of people's behalves to ensure that it's successful. I personally believe that it's improved our PSHE offer, massively improved our PSHE offer, and has enhanced it. So from a finance point of view and a time point of view, it isn't an add-on to your PSHE, it's all encompassing within it. So schools might be anxious that when we can't fit this in, there's no time in the timetable. You can, because it's an integral part of your PSHE learning.
Yes, it's once it's set up, the beauty of it is that you can then use a peace circle for anything. We used peace circles in Forest School. We used peace circles with some children who were gardening last week. So it could be responsive as well. So when we had a major incident in school, we were able to have peace circles across school to help solve the problem and soothe children.
So would you recommend other schools start doing peace circles?
Yes,
absolutely. Yeah, but most definitely, because they are now a strength within our school, and as they're a strength, most importantly, it's impacting on the children, so the children benefit from it, and that's the bottom line, isn't it?
Yeah.
About the different times when obviously we've talked about it as the one-off incident, and that was very helpful, but there's obviously numerous different times of when we've used peace circles to good use.
So today we have many children have high SEMH needs. They have lots of issues that we, the pastoral team can't do on their own. So with peace circles, regular peace circles, we can address friendship breakdowns, one-off incidents of unkindness, anxiety and emotional distress, and any transitions and changes at home as well. We can tackle in a peace circle, and I think once your peace circles are set up, tackling issues such as this don't feel daunting. Your class is so used to sitting there and looking at each other and sitting in a circle and being together and being harmonious together. You can tackle pretty much any issue, even global issues and things in the news. Otherwise, you can hold peace circles and solve things together and talk about things together, which is very important.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Children with additional needs, they don't necessarily need any adaptations to the peace circles. They can have adaptations. I know we have children who sometimes feel a bit vulnerable in the peace circles, so they tend to sit out, but we quickly find they want to come back in and join in, especially when it's time to play a game. We have children with SEMH needs who often they tend to sort of they kind of become a little bit dysregulated sometimes during some of the activities, and they have the opportunity to sit out if they want to. And we've had some lovely children, a girl in year 2 who is autistic. She's quickly cottoned on to the fact that Peace Circus is a great time to play the games and to do what everyone else in her class is doing. And she absolutely loves her Peace Circle on a Friday afternoon.
I think it's about showing the sensitivity and acknowledging that some children need to sit on the outer circle, shall we say, and gauge what's happening rather than trying to make them join in straight away, and then they feel that it is a secure space, and then they will join. So we really don't have children opting out now, do we?
No.
It's because they've or shall we say sitting to one side rather than opting out. The children are actively wanting to participate.
Well,
it's very grounding.
Yes, it is. I had a lovely experience a few weeks ago in a Year 5 class where they were having their Peace Circle, and they were very challenging class because there were so many needs within the class. But the Peace Circle went so well that the teacher could step out of the circle, and the children continued their discussion, continued passing around the peace without the teacher needing to facilitate or do anything. It was happening, and everyone was involved, and that was really lovely to see.
Yes.
We've had a teacher say that her SEND children are gaining confidence, and it's really helping them socially. They are initiating conversations and contributing after a few sessions. In the first Peace Circle, one child was so reluctant to speak, but now he puts his hand up all the time, and he always wishes to talk. And a lot of teachers have spoken about how Peace Circles have helped him bring himself out of himself and give the quieter children a voice, which is great.
At the start of the year in September, we always have introductory meetings for every class holds a meeting with parents. So we were going to weave it into there. So we've got a sort of a captive audience, but we now strongly believe this is integral part of our offer, that we feel that the parents need to know what it is that we're doing, and also be au fait with the language that the children will be using, and maybe even long term start to emulate that language at home as well, which is very important. So it was too early to do it, obviously, this academic year, because we needed to work with our children and our staff, but that's what if parents are informed, it might help within the home setting as well.
Wonderful. That